Hey everybody! All right, our objective today is now that we have a good handle on these solid shapes, we're going to start looking at some of their attributes that are the most important. So, personally, for second grade, I think one of the most useful attributes to talk about is the face or flat side of a solid shape. So let me give you an example. So here on the screen is a green cylinder. Most of this green cylinder is rounded. It does not have a face, right? The sides are curved. They're curved surfaces. That's why they're so good at rolling. However, the top, right here, and the bottom, which is hard to see, right here, are faces. So cylinders do have two faces, just so you know, at the top and the bottom. Flat surfaces. So if I said I have two flat circular faces, I probably am talking about a cylinder, right? Other solid figures have faces as well. Rectangular prisms have rectangles and probably some squares, right? Cubes for sure have squares all over the place. And then triangles, well, I should say pyramids, have triangular faces, at least on the sides, and possibly a square face on the bottom. So, one of the most important attributes that you're going to be asked to find today is the face and the number of faces on an object. I'm going to be honest though, counting the faces can be a little confusing because most of the time you can only see some of them. So if I was to look at this square, it would be really easy to say a square has three faces. Well, it has three faces that you can see, right? However, there are more that you can't really see, and we'll talk about maybe how the best way to count those faces is to touch some of these objects. The other attributes that you're going to focus in on are corners, which I think are going to be relatively easy for you. Faces we talked about already, the flat sides of a figure, and edges. And these shapes have a lot of edges. So just so you know, an edge is a straight side that connects two corners. So if you look at this square at the top, it has four edges. See them? And then there's going to be another square kind of at the bottom, actually, of this shape. Right there. Four more. And then there are going to be some edges in the middle, right? Three that you can see and one connecting the back two corners. So if you look at this, there's going to be four on the top, four on the bottom, and four on the side. So you end up with a total of 12 edges. Lots of these shapes have quite a few edges. We're going to be looking for faces, corners, and edges, and we're even going to look in the hard to see places. Like if you notice this corner back here, right here, definitely is there, but it's behind the shape because it's in 3D. So if it was a real thing in your room, you could just turn it around and look. But if it's on the screen, it's hard sometimes to count those hidden ones. Let me show you what you're going to do for me. All right. First thing, easy. You just have to prove to me that you still remembered their names. Which ones are cones? Label them. Which ones are cylinders? Label them, right? There are a couple pages of that. Which ones are cubes? Label them. When you're done naming the figures, then you're going to get into the part where you're going to do a little bit more with them. You have to count their edges. Now, thankfully, I drew them transparent so you can see those back edges. So when you do this, what I suggest you do is right on the screen, you go ahead and draw the lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 edges, right? So you're tracing those and you're counting them as you go. If there's a better sequence, if you want to do the top first and the bottom second, I probably would have done that myself. And then the sides in the middle last, I probably would have done that. Edges is probably going to be the toughest one for you. Faces, again, right on the screen, I would mark the faces. Top, bottom. That's 2. Side, other side. Now I'm up to 4. Front, back, 6 faces. And then the last one is vertices. That's a fancy word for corners. Okay? Vertices are the corners. So there are 4 corners on the top. There are 4 corners on the bottom. 4 plus 4. 8. And the last thing you have to do is just name this shape. It's a rectangular prism. So you could just drag down that word, rectangular prism. Here is a sphere, right? No edges, no faces, no vertices. Some shapes are going to be easier to count than others. I have a few that I would like you to try on your own. Try the cube, try the pyramid, and think about this cone. Okay? When you're all done with that, there are a couple fun math games for you to try. Thanks, everybody. Bye now.